Welcome. Are you ready? We're here today to discuss the beautiful new film, Zero Limits. We're here with the incredible Dr. Joe Vitale, who you know from The Secret, along with wonderful experts and visionaries who are in this brand new film on Amazon Prime. We're going to go into the making of the film. Why this film? Why right now? What inspired that? And we're going to talk about a live 2 day experience that is coming up. So we'll get a sneak peek at that. And we're just super excited that you're here with us and all of your beautiful faces. Thank you for being here. Dr. Joe, I would love to start with you.
All right.
Thank you. You have inspired millions of people through The Secret, your books, all of your work and impact around freedom and mindset and how people can really live fully. You embody that in the way you live, which we've come to know and respect and appreciate. So
Thank
I would love to hear, after all this work that you've done in so many areas, what inspired you to make this movie?
The short answer is I saw the power of a good film by being in the movie The Secret. The
Nice.
Secret took a concept, the law of attraction, which had been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and put it on the big screen. And when I saw that the masses were reached about that positive message through a film, I realized I could reach a lot more people if I had my own movie. So the seed was planted there. I've written a lot of books. I've written over 90 books, and I've been traveling around the world speaking for decades. But I needed a movie to reach the people who don't go to events, who don't read books, who are sitting at home in front of their TV, in front of their computer, watching their iPhone, iPad, or whatever it happens to be. That's where the seed planted. I wanted to reach more people, and I saw the power of a movie by being in and watching The Secret take off and still being talked about 20 years later today.
Yes, wow, you're so right because it's the way to reach everyone through entertainment. This is so important in our lives when we're looking for a way to come to relaxation, and that's reaching way more people. I love that you've thought of that. So why now? Why, what's this message? Why is it so important right now?
It's really important right now because most of the world is suffering. If you look through history, you'll find that there's always been suffering, there's always been tragedy, there's always been the unexpected, there's always been drama, there's always been trauma. But it feels like it's heightened right now. And I think some of it has to do with the high technology we have. Social media makes it very instantaneous for us to receive negative news and to broadcast negative news. And it ends up amplifying the pain. It ends up amplifying the suffering. And I want to do something about it. As I mentioned, I've written lots of books. These books can help, but not enough people read books. So if I need to reach the population that is crying, that is shaking, that is scared, that can't sleep at night, that is worried about their health, they're worried about their finances, they're worried about tomorrow or next week or next month or next year or what's going to happen to us as a species even. We need to do something now. And so I really felt inspired and compelled to not only make a movie, but to make something with a message that's part of a movement. And it's a movement to alleviate suffering that's going on. I've heard too many people are so hurting that they've either considered suicide or actually done it. That brings me to my knees. My heart is in pain when I consider all of that. And so this movie, this message is needed at this point in time. And I and my cast of stars are driven to get this to the world. We need it because the world's hurting.
Yes, you're right, because we're inundated with all of this. It used to be you could turn off the news, but now it's just coming everywhere based on the algorithm. That makes perfect sense. Well, and you have assembled this beautiful cast of people.
Yes.
I've come to love all of you, and I'm so pleased that you're here. So, Dr. Joe, what inspired you to work with these specific individuals? What went into that?
Well, I knew that I couldn't do this alone for one basic reason. Not everybody's going to resonate with me or my message. I can tell them I was homeless, I was in poverty, I've gone on to write these books and be in all these movies, and they may or may not relate to it. So I needed more people with their unique story, their unique talent, their unique message, their unique remedy for the world situation. I needed to handpick authorities. I needed to handpick stars. And so I went around the world to find these gems. And these people are the holy grail of self improvement, folks, because they've come in here and they've elevated the movie. It would have been at one level with just me in it, and it might have been boring. But by having almost 24 people in here, each one a shining star, they make this a high vibe movie. In fact, a few people, when they first saw the movie, they came out of the premiere, they said that the movie is at a frequency of miracles. Those weren't my words. That's what one of the audience members said. And then the Los Angeles Tribune sent it out to the world. The movie is at a frequency of miracles. How is that possible? Because the cast of stars are bringing their light. And all of this combined light makes the movie a healing movie. It's a cleaning movie. It's a clearing movie. It's a high vibe, high frequency miracle in and of itself.
I love how you said that because that's so wise to realize that we're bigger than just ourselves. It's all of us and what we contribute, and that's wonderful, Joe. On that note, I would love to hear from each of you, the stars. That's a perfect segue. Can you share with us what does it mean to you to be part of Zero Limits, and how does that help the people that are listening? Stacy, why don't we start with you?
Happy to be here. Joe, thank you for that beautiful explanation of why this movie at this time and for this beautiful acknowledgement. I know I speak for everyone here that we all do our best to keep our vibration as high as possible. And it's why we stay connected to you and the what you've brought to the world. You and only a few others have been sharing this for as long as you have. So for me, it's exactly the same. When I heard that you were putting forth the movie, I can say that The Secret did make a huge difference in my life when it came out. It was like groundbreaking in so many ways. And you and I have known each other since before the movie came out. That I too am doing whatever I can every day to help people rise up to the level of enlightenment. The frequency of enlightenment actually is measured and exists. And at that frequency, anything is possible. It transcends our mindset. But what I found is raising our frequency using the prayer, Ho'oponopono, and others, and music, and frequency tuned anything to raise our vibration allows us to be able to control the mind, like, which then we can control our life. Mm. And it's faster than going through the mind to the emotions, going to the energy of the emotions. And this is what I'm offering to others to consider how fast we can shift our energy and our perspective about ourselves and about the world and what's possible by shifting the energy of our emotions. And I get to share how to do that in our upcoming event. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But I also talked about that in the movie. In many ways, my life, like Joe, I was homeless for a time. I've been very broke. I thought I would never get married, that I was unmarriable, if that's a word, and that my life was destined to just be day after day of drudge. And that is true. And I think that's the first time I've admitted that completely in the space of this group of beautiful people. It was important to say. And that is not that bears no resemblance to my life for the last 30 years since I have been living a zero limits life. So thank you for asking, Jeannie.
Oh, Stacy, wow. Thank you for sharing that, your openness and sharing that, because a lot of people feel that, and I think it's really important. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Can't wait to hear more about it at the event. So, Tim, we'd love to hear from you next. If you can please share with us about your getting involved with the film and what does Zero Limits really mean to you?
Thank you. Yes, I really agree with what Joe said that you need different people with different experiences so that more can resonate with the messaging because we have so many different personalities and experiences that we have. The one thing we have in common is passion. We have a strong passion. We've dedicated our lives to helping ourselves grow to the point where we can then share our wisdom and our love with the rest of the world. And so we work really hard on growing ourselves so that we can grow others. And when you do that in a community like the community we're building, you really can thrive at a whole new level that you just could not do by yourself.
Wow.
So the reason that I wanted to be a part of this amazing project is because I'm fascinated with what happens when you get stuck, right? What do you do when you feel like you've read the books and you've gone through the programs and you're still struggling with the same issues? And so I've been obsessed with that. I've had many conversations with Joe about that and tried to ask the toughest questions I could come up with and apply what I learned in my life and then in the lives of thousands of clients. And we're all doing that, right? We're all trying to figure out how to get people unstuck. And if we get enough people unstuck, maybe we'll get the world unstuck. And so that is my passion and my obsession. And I believe that that's one that we all share. And that's why we're here.
Thank you. Thank you, Tim. And I couldn't agree more. And actually, as we continue to work together and build community, I feel like we're all just rising together. And it really is a movement. And you're right, we each bring that different piece. So that's beautiful. Thanks, Tim. By the way, what are you going to be sharing at the event? If you don't mind, just a little snippet, I'd love to hear.
So Lisa and I are both hypnotherapists with a lot of experience, and so we are going to join forces and provide people with a dual hypnosis session that's designed to supercharge your subconscious mind for zero limits. So that's something that's going to be worth the price of admission just for that.
Oh, that's so cool. Can't wait to hear it and see it and the change that people are going to experience from that. Thanks so much, Tim. On that note, let's jump over to Lisa.
It's so exciting to know another hypnotist because it's actually helped me cross the border when I was brought in to ask questions to cross the border to Canada. And the guard said to me, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "I'm a hypnotist." He said, "Are you hypnotizing me now?" I said, "I could be." And he's like, "You could leave now." So So, the thing about hypnosis that I learned because 25 years ago I was suicidal. I did not want to be here. I was one of those people. And one of the things that I hope people understand is every single one of the people who are in this movie have a story that we came from, many of us, really dark places and did a whole lot of work to overcome that. And the movie The Secret inspired me, and the book Zero Limits, your book. I read the book. I met someone who actually had a Ho'oponopono group, and we were meeting on a regular basis, and miracles were happening in the group. The most amazing thing that happened to me was I had a list of people, stack of index cards that I needed to forgive. And as soon as I've totally let go, someone who I hadn't spoken to in 14 years called me out of the blue. I was driving and they said, "I want you back in my life. How can we make this happen?" The only thing he said, I noticed that things between us had changed. The only thing that had changed was the prayer because we had not spoken in 14 years. And that moment changed my life because then everything cleared. Because if you think about how much of your energy goes into resentment and anger, there's not much left for you. So much was cleared that the title of my book came. And then suddenly I had a best-selling book, and then I was traveling around the world speaking. I live my life. It's like I say yes to everything. I just spent a month in Europe. Things just started coming together. I spent 3 months in Mexico, and I didn't really pay for any of my lodging. It's like all these opportunities are coming to me, and I literally expect miracles every day. And it's because of the Ho'oponopono. It's because I worked on my unconscious mind and cleared all of that so that I could be neutral. And neutrality is the key because when you're neutral, then you don't get triggered by people, by things. And that's been my extraordinary journey. I'm so grateful to this group because I have learned so much from all of you. We have a really amazing treat for people to really help people better understand what's your motivation? Where do your beliefs come from? How do you understand what motivates you? Because there's an inner child that's wounded that chooses your job, chooses your partner, chooses many of the things that you do in life. And you want a healed version of you to be making that choice, not a 7-year-old or a 15-year-old. So we're excited to work with all of you.
Wow. Thank you so much for saying that. You bring up a really good point because even anger, it suppresses your immune system. It really affects everything. So I'm so excited for what you and Tim are going to be sharing at this 2-day experience. That's so beautiful. Thanks for showing. And I love seeing all the photos of your trip. Super. Okay. So Lalitha, I would love to hear from you. Tell us about your experience with this.
Well, first of all, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, everyone. Let's start with the book, Dr. Vitale's book. I didn't know it, but for some reason in 2013, 14, I took some acting classes. I never wanted to be an actress in my life. It was not about The Secret, even though I loved it. I just decided that I was too shy to go in front of the camera and to make my own videos. I had a videographer, then I had a coach, acting coach, and I was like, oh, this is not for me. I didn't learn anything. I couldn't remember anything in the moment, sit tall, look in the camera. None of that could stick. And then suddenly I had a meditation just like 2 years ago. I was writing a book on Muria, Kumarikandam, some ancient civilizations that disappeared. And all of a sudden, as I'm meditating, I'm visualizing the first Satya Yuga, during the previous one, and now I see a crew of a film, of a movie. And I thought, what is that? And wow, I thought, well, that's not a bad idea, though, since I have to make all these videos and then put them on Drive and this and that. So I began to visualize it daily. And about a month later, my publisher, who is Katie Carey, she's in the movie and she's amazing, said, do you want to be in a movie with Dr. Joe Vitale? Oh, that sounded very nice. So I read the book, I loved it, and it was a lot to do with Lemuria, in my view, because in my research, Hawaii is part of that motherland that disappeared. So this amazing teaching coming to me at that time was synchronicity, and I pay attention to synchronicity because that's how our soul speaks to us. And so here I am, and I want to share all my, a special technique that my teacher calls timeline jumping. So when you do this cleaning through timeline jumping, you find all these bizarre thought forms that we carry because life makes us carry so much and we feel so much. So unless we clear those triggers, it's very hard to rebuild and to have the life you want and to manifest. So I will be sharing those, about 5 or 6 of those, and they are very powerful. I've experienced them, my clients have, etc. So that's all.
Oh, amazing. And I had no idea you took acting classes. It's incredible. I love how you followed the trail of what was happening and how it prepared you for all of this. And I'm so glad you're here. So thank you for sharing that. Can't wait to learn these experiences from you. Okay, so Lucinda, let's share your perspective on this.
It's lovely to be here and to hear everybody as well. And I think rather like Joe was saying, a lot of my work has been based on helping people who are suffering. When we put that together with the world of, and I put it in inverted commas, manifestation, which has become such a buzzword with the rise of social media, there's a beautiful quote that I hear a lot, and it's so true, which is, when we're manifesting and we're asking, we're opening up to receive. And the quote is, when I ask for flowers, I receive rain. And so what I do is help people navigate the rain. Because sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I'm going to drown. But actually, it is all the unconscious patterns that have been driving us, running us, and living us from the past, whether it's our childhood, our parents, ancestral, you name it. It all begins to come up as soon as we put a wish or a want out there. So what I do with clients is really help people to work through all of that deep trauma and conditioning. And it just felt so beautiful at the moment, this time in the world, because there is such a huge polarity, it seems, in the world at the moment. There is a huge group of people who want to heal, who want to be of service to themselves, to the world. And then at the same time, there's almost a huge resistance to that, where there is a lot of anger, deep rage, hurt. And a lot of people are feeling that polarity and a bit stuck and not quite sure which is right or which way to go. So I'm just really helping people navigate so that they can clear as much as they can, as Lisa was saying as well, because when we're in that place of neutrality, and this is one of the beauties of Ho'oponopono as well, when we are in that place, that is when we hear new information that comes from a place of creativity that's not of the mind. I always equate the mind to ChatGPT. Fantastic piece of machinery, but purely based on the past. And as humans, we tend to project that into the future. And guess what? That's what we create. So if we can really unfreeze the past, bring it to the surface, process it, and train the mind to not project into the future based on the past, that's when we create that beautiful space for creativity and new to be. So that was my motivation to be in zero limits, because we are humans. We are zero. We have limitless potential, but we're never taught how to use it when we're growing up. So I just want everyone to.
Oh goodness. Well, you are so right. Even your voice is so healing. I just love listening to you. I feel that when I hear you. I'm so excited to hear you at the event, and thank you for sharing that experience. Now, Deborah, I would love to hear about what you'd like to share with us about this.
Well, first, and I'm going to get through this without crying, Dr. Joe. I have been blessed to know Joe as Stacy for over 20 years. If I took the closest 20 people around me and you were to ask them, who would you like to bring you to the world, introduce you, it would be Joe. Joe taught me to minister and taught me to love on people. I watched Joe in class after class because I was one of those that was hungry. I've been raped, I've been abused, I've been homeless, and all of that was from my own mother. At the end of the day, due to Ho'opono and you, Joe Vitale, and the doors you've opened, I was able to heal that little girl in me so to the point I was the one that asked to take care of my mother at the end. So what does Ho'opono do? It will shift you, it will change you, and it will do it with such ease, grace, and love. You don't even realize you're the one changing because you keep pointing to the outside the world and it's right back in here. What we do, we create. So what I do is take people and show them in the first 17 seconds how we create. We shift what we're thinking and we shift it in love to love our own self, because we're the one that puts the brakes and the ceilings above us. We desire to blame someone else because that's what we're taught and it's easy. It's not as easy to pick up the mirror and go, oh, you the joker. You mean it's not that person? You mean, oh, no, you're kidding me. Well, when we get that, just kid and laugh with yourself, you messed up. I messed up Saturday before last with an expectation that I didn't even realize I had. However, I realized that was what I was taught as a kid. And it's okay. Sometimes we get back in that groove. We have 17 seconds, baby, to shift that groove and get into the next one. And if we keep shifting ourselves and laugh and do it in love, we will shift the gear in the car we desire, right, Joe? We will shift that purple or whatever that car is you desire. So what I do is help people break the ceiling that someone, and normally their own self, told them they have. And we do it with laughter. And by the way, you talked about immune. When you smile, you increase your immune. When you smile at someone else in a grocery store and they see it, you just literally forced their immune to increase. And if someone else just so happened to see you two catching a smile and they just so happen to be in the vicinity, their immune is increased too. So what we do and how we shift the world, and then we put devices with frequency, what we can do is we can shift this world to next year at this time. We're not looking at the people that need to be healed because they're talking to us about how many people they've walked through healing. And it's that fast. So
Wow.
come join us.
Okay, I'm familiar with some of your work on this, and I am excited to see this at the event. Thank you, Deborah.
If I can add, miracles follow. I mean the miracles. We've had blind eye, deaf ear, mute that can't speak, that never said a word speaking. So these things work, and they work like this.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that open sharing about your past and how far you've come. It's beautiful how you're helping too. And I love this about the smile, because right now we're all listening to this. We can all take this after the fact and just smile at people and let it feel your soul, feel their soul, and all of the people who happen to be lucky enough to witness that. So thank you. On that note, Jonathan, would you jump in here? I'd love to hear what you would like to share with us.
Yeah, you guys were all amazing, and I'm so excited to be a part of this, especially with Dr. Joe. Part of why I'm here is I've studied everything he's read. I have it written in my book here and everything, to meet him, to speak with him. I've read probably every book he has. I've listened to every audio. I could probably recite things more than he can at this point from his own work. And I was struggling. I was hurting. I was broke. I was single. I was living a life where I was like, I'm trying to do the right things, but I cannot figure this out. I'm reading the books. I got The Secret behind me. I was, and I'm like, okay, that's what first introduced me. And then I started really like honing in on the methods, and then really kind of navigating it to kind of create my own method. And things started working. And then after reading Zero Limits and At Zero, incorporating Ho'oponopono, and then watching his workshops, being in the Zero Limits community, I started really embodying it. And then, I mean, to the fact where I literally work out, like, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, like that all the time. And when I was able to kind of sit back and say, okay, I have a beautiful wife, my most amazing daughter, I have a beautiful home that I manifested, a bunch of even cool materialistic things, hitting financial goals and stuff. And I'm like, how did I do this? Because I was literally a few years back crying on the end of a bed, like, what am I doing wrong with my life? And I looked back and I kind of said, okay, these are the steps that I took. This is how Zero Limits has helped me. And I incorporated it into basically a 7-step process that I use every morning. And when I'm listening to like Alpha or Theta Beats or something, and I said, okay, this works now. Anybody could talk about having it, and you'll see some coaches out there. No one in this group, because everyone's amazing, but like, they don't exactly embody that life. And I literally studied these formulas from Dr. Joe, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, these things work. And now I know how to do it. And now I know how to teach people. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And it's changed my life. I know it'll change yours. And the one thing I have to say about Zero Limits, as opposed to maybe some other movies or personal development things, is I feel like with this particular movie, we're all very tight knit. So at least I feel I am with all you guys at this point. And I feel like there are going to be people better than me in certain areas that are experts. But at any moment, we all have somebody in another area to reach out. So when you become part of Zero Limits and you watch it, you're part of the Zero Limits family now. And it's almost like, yeah, you might work with one person specifically, but everybody is coming in to help you achieve your goal. So I think with this movie, you get more than just the movie. You get a whole family of some of the best experts I've seen. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Thank you, Jonathan. And yes, what's happened for you has been beautiful as it's unfolded for you and your family and your beautiful wife that we met at the premiere and your cute daughter.
Thank you.
I love what you mentioned, by the way. We have a family, we have a community. It's called Zero Limits Community on Facebook, where it's ongoing support. It's free. Come join us. You can have fun with us there and keep that momentum going and keep up your frequency and keep up these wonderful vibes that help you unleash what's unlimited in you, in your way. Even how you adapted Dr. Joe's lessons for you, that's the magic of what happens for us. Dr. Solveig would love to hear you. Let's see what you have to say about the matter.
Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me be here. There's so much to say. And how I came to Zero Limits, I would say it was, you could say it's ego driven, because for me it was just a personal dream come true to be on the movie screen with Dr. Joe Vitale, known from The Secret, and be able to spread a message that should inspire people to tell about field reading, what I'm doing. That's my passion. And Zero Limits has really become my personal portal of growth, because what actually nobody knows, maybe that right after filming the movie, my life spiraled down. And I'm still in the process of, it feels for me like that I made a claim by being in the movie I still have to live up to. I often have the thought like, oh my God, how did I get here? Do I even belong? Because you're so amazing. I'm learning so much with you, from you, through you. And it's just, I mean, it's mind blowing for me. And I hope that's what everybody gets from this movie by watching it and daring to not only ask for health, riches, good relationships, but even to live a life in your true own essence, because everybody of us is unique. And I think that's the real thing, to live this life, not only to live it and not to die, but to live it in your essence, in your uniqueness. And that's what I want to inspire to. Yes. And for the today, when you asked what we are going to contribute, so I brought a spoon. I learned to bend. I have my own quick and dirty approach to it. So I will show you how to do it. So even if you haven't done it before and you haven't been steering energy in your body or something, you could get results. And I'm really excited to do this with you. So bring a spoon, and it's to remind you of your own inner strength and power.
Thank you for that. I love the symbolism of this. It's actually symbolism and actual material physical change that you can see right before your eyes. So everyone, when you come to the 2-day experience, bring a spoon with you that you're okay with distorting a bit. And thank you for your openness too, because you're right. Everyone, we all have our ups and down moments, and it's nice to have this community of people to support us through it. Not everyone has supportive family. Not everyone has supportive even spouses, or maybe they struggle with their kids. I mean, there's so many things that we could, it's a time when seeking support and wisdom with others. It is that transformation and living with zero limits. That's part of it. So thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. And on that note, let's jump into with Lydia, because she has something huge to share even beyond our human experiences. I love what you have to share. So please jump in, Lydia.
Well, it's such an honor and pleasure to be with everyone here and everyone who's watching. And I can really feel the collective energy. I can feel the collective wisdom that's being activated just by coming together. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of activating our inner peace and power through zero limits. And this is why I was so drawn to the movie, because I recently coined the phrase to try to understand myself. I have been delusionally optimistic most of my life. And I have had many, many challenges. And I was born very ill. And then at the age of 10, doctors told me to go home and die. And I just thought that was ridiculous. So I made a declaration. And so that's my zero limits declaration, that I did not come on the planet to be half alive. I came on the planet to be whole and free. And my journey to reclaim my sovereignty began at that moment when I was told that. And I thank the doctors at that time for telling me that, because they were a catalyst to activate my own empowerment. And I've always been fascinated with feeling nothingness. So when I was very ill and lying in bed in pain and in and out of pain and looking out the window, wanting to be outside as a kid, I used to try to imagine what it would be like to be nothing, to have nothingness. But I didn't know there was terms at the time like empty mind, empty vessel, Taoism. So that's how I got involved in Taoist principles. And those principles really help ground me. Even when I was a little kid, I watched, I don't know, I'm showing my age, The Flying Nun, The Flying Nun. And I thought I could be the flying nun. I just thought I was delusionally optimistic. And then I fell and hit my head and had to get stitches. So I learned about grounding myself, about aligning myself. And then on my journey, I was blessed that I had white beings come to me, and they still do. And many of them came as horses. That's how horses came into my life, as pillars of light and as guides and in nature. So my obsession with feeling or being nothingness, that's the 0 point. That's the point of limitless creation, where anything is possible when we're in that empty space, empty mind. And mindset is so important. We move beyond mindset in whatever way we want to define it, but then we expand consciousness. So we focus, we ground, we set intention. I love mantras. And then we expand into that limitless possibility. So despite my chronic pain, my incurable chronic illness, losses, so many losses, I made a choice to turn that into gold, to turn that into gold. And I focus on what I gained, not what I lost. And that's what I love about the zero limits mindset. And I'm just beginning. I'm 60, and I feel there's a whole new universe waiting for me out there. And it is waiting for you in our zero limits community. So I'm going to be talking about that with Sol. I'm so honored to co-present with Solveig about connecting with your soul, listening to the messages. I have my love method: listen, observe, validate, empower, as part of my 12 ancient universal principles method. So we'll be taking simple steps, creating a declaration to yourself and to the world that you are limitless.
Yes, I love this. And so tangible. It's a tangible takeaway that people can apply in their lives. So that's wonderful. And by the way, I love how you work with horses. That's when I envision freedom, a lot of times I envision galloping on a horse because of that freedom that it elicits. And I used to want to fly or believe I could fly when I was a child. It's zero limits. Who knows what's possible? It's amazing. All right. So Dr. Victoria Rader, would love to hear your experience with this.
Well, first of all, my experience is one word, and that word is love. I'm here because of my deep love for Dr. Joe Vitale and his deep love for all forms of life. I define zero limits with that one word. It is love. Love has zero limits. And when you discover it, when you seek it, find it, and vibrate at it, you experience a life of zero limits. So why should you come and join us? Come be loved in a way you might currently think you're undeserving to. Come and be loved in a way that you're currently trying to prove to yourself and earn without needing to. Come be loved. I will be talking about the power of love and healing a heart at such a profound way that you will remember who you are, who you've come to be, and you'll step into zero limits that Dr. Joe Vitale, with his passion and love, has created as the foundation for all of us. One last sentiment. We know there are 3 liars in our mind that are corrupting our heart. One says you're not enough. One says you're so different, you don't belong anywhere. And one says what I want is just out of my reach. You want to find a solution to these 3 liars through connecting to love and living a life of zero limits? That is why all of us are creating this program for you. So I hope to see you. I hope to get to know you and to love you during that program.
I love how you have your earrings and your you embody love right now. Oh, look at you. You've got it everywhere. Beautiful, beautiful. I feel the love. I can't wait for everyone to experience that love. We all need more love in our lives. There's never too much love, and the world needs it. You need it. Everyone needs it. And wonderful. So, Art, I'm so thrilled to see you again. Hello. So, please let's share with us your experience and what you'll be sharing as well.
Well, what attracted me to being in the movie and the event that we're doing, there are two things. One is, as everybody's been saying, people are really suffering. There's a lot of incredible growth happening in the world, and often that's really messy, and it's called a healing crisis. And I think everybody here, we're just drawn to help people get through that crisis and get to something better. And the other one is my dirty little secret, which is because it's fun. I think one of the most fun things in the world is clearing people's blocks and opening up their abilities that they didn't even know were there. My superpower is opening up other people's superpowers to work with energy, to do miraculous work using energies. During my session, we're going to be working with some of the planes of existence. And if people are wondering what those are, most people have heard of the etheric plane, the astral plane. You've definitely heard of the physical plane, but there's a whole number of planes above that. And some of them, like the Adi plane, which is pure potential, the monadic plane of pure unity, the Buddhic plane of compassion, and on and on. We're going to be working with the energies of the higher planes. When you bring them in, they transform your life miraculously on all levels. And again, it's easy, it's fun. And as somebody, kind of an interesting life history in that I was really adventuresome. And then I got stuck. And I don't know if anybody can relate to that. And people wouldn't even mention it to me because I was so sensitive. For years, I got stuck and nobody could figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. And then that's when I discovered NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and saw a flyer on the wall that said neuro-linguistic programming, and literally felt like a bolt of lightning hit me on top of the head and went bam through my body. And I went, okay, that was a sign. And I'd been hypnotizing people since I was 12, and I was always interested in the powers of the mind, but I hadn't really gotten into it in a deep level. And then I realized when you combined NLP with spiritual principles, healing and transformative energy work, particularly remote energy work, you could just create so many miracles on so many levels. So that's what I'll be sharing. And I'm really thrilled to be with this wonderful group of healers, light workers, and it's a real honor to be part of all of this.
Oh, well, I'm so glad you're here, and it's been a joy meeting you and getting to know you, Art, as well. We just have such a beautiful set of people here, and I'm thrilled that you're all going to be part of the event and as this follow-up to the movie and making it into something really tangible for people to apply in their lives. That's amazing. So thank you for that. The event again is on November 11th and 12th. You can check it out at the Zero Limits movie site, and then remember about the Facebook community group as well. As far as it's interesting what each of you are sharing, and it's amazing how we're all connected with these similar experiences of overcoming trauma. And even the same with me and my work. I'll be presenting with Jonathan, and we're going to be talking about grace and resilience. One of you mentioned polarity and how we're having this polarity of, being pulled in different directions. And a lot of times there's so much pressure and judgment that is placed upon us. And a lot of it is self-imposed, and a lot of it has just been marinating for years and years and putting pressure on people. And so Jonathan and I are going to be sharing our best practices in granting yourself some grace and also allowing yourself to create the progress in your life in a way that's so pleasant and that you can really feel at peace with that. We have so many things that all just connect and connect and connect, and it's all about connecting the dots and bringing that experience here. As we wrap up, I wonder, because I just think it would be fun, can we each share with us something unique about you, like something we may not know about you, just like a fun little tidbit? Art, let's hear yours first. I'd love to hear it.
When I was little, I was interested in two things. One was science. I wanted to be a great scientist. And the other was the mystic. And I bought a hypno coin. You could buy them through comic books. And my parents must have bought it for me. In fact, my mother went to the library and checked out a book on hypnosis for me. I was so young, the librarian wouldn't give it to me. And when my mom checked it out for me, she said the librarian gave her this "You're a terrible mother" look. So that's something few people know about me now, that I've been a hypnotist since I was 12.
Oh yeah, your poor mother, but she knew you. That's amazing.
That's what my friends would say too, "Your poor mother."
All right, Lydia, what would you like to share?
Well, it's kind of relevant, but one of the things I love to do, which I've done for years, is I sleep outside with my horses.
Oh.
So whether it's -40, and when it's -40 and there's snow, there's no moisture in the air. So the moonlight hits the snow and it's like sparkling diamonds. And then you just learn how to dress for the weather. And then our bodies intertwine and then we dissolve together. That's the nothingness, right? And then you don't want to ever return back to earth, but you're still in the earth, right? So I sleep with my horses all seasons in all weather. And I encourage everyone to try that.
Yeah.
That's a whole, Deborah, what were you gonna say?
I'm gonna do it in the spring.
Yes, I know. Yes, you have your cold weather there, Lydia. Everyone's doing these cold plunges. That's a whole new definition.
I don't need to cold plunge because we just go outside.
Oh, no wonder you look so vibrant. Okay, so Deborah, what's something we don't know about you?
I truly have been in frequency since a kid. In second grade, I was very serious when I asked the priest to teach me how to float like the statue of Jesus. He looked at me a little crazy. The next year, I asked him to teach me how to walk on water because I had been practicing for 3 weeks. When he told me he didn't know how, I said, okay, but I had learned about coaches by this time. I said, take me to who can. He said he didn't know anyone. I asked him then how he got his job because he obviously didn't qualify for it. And again, in frequency, when I didn't know the product, but I knew that, Joe, there was a possible need on something, I searched for products for the frequency because I knew that the healing was in here. And in fourth grade, when I had my third earache of the year, I asked the doctor to send me to someone that could, because he was trying to fix a physical when I was a spirit. Now, my mother quietly tried to stop me and calm me back down to her reality. But my reality was, I knew that they were incorrect. And I knew that frequencies would shift and move us. I have been in the Merkaba, the chariot of fire. I've traveled in it. What we can do in that is, again, through frequencies, is just we can take the healing process and bring it together, as you said, Victoria, in love. Love. It's the 4-letter word that we must get back to. We're too accustomed to a different word. It's love. This needs to be our next 4-letter word. So I'm the frequency girl.
Yes, yes. Even in youth, what a force you must have been. I know that's true.
Yes, yeah. Definitely called crazy.
Only in the best way. So, Victoria, on the topic of love, what's something we may not know about you?
Well, in February, I'm celebrating my 30th wedding anniversary. Against all odds, I married somebody who is 26 years older than me, and that was an inspiration for learning energy healing and work. And so at 76, he competes at singles in tennis. He hikes, he bikes 20 miles a day. And at this point, he is running me ragged. And so that is not something I run around and tell people that, my husband is this much older. That and the two of us have 4 dogs. So please intervene in our crazy and stop me from getting 2 more. If you love me enough to say, just say no, because it just keeps growing. So.
Well, that sounds fun, like quite an adventure, and what a testament to love. So that's beautiful. Congratulations on your upcoming anniversary. Okay, Lisa, what might we not know about you?
Well, I've been kind of going back and forth between 2 of them because when I was in my 20s, I actually learned how to MIG and TIG weld. I haven't welded since then, but I made a nice big metal coffee table and I used to have a lot of fun playing around with that. And I also walk on broken glass. So I have video of me walking 4 feet of broken glass, and it's the most present that you'll ever be in your entire life, because you have to put every single moment of attention on the bottom of your feet. And it's really an extraordinary experience.
Oh my. Okay, that's not one I've heard of, walking on fire, not walking on glass.
Done both.
Excellent. Okay.
Prefer the glass.
Yes, that's okay. Lucinda, what may we not know about you?
I think there, well, 50 years of stuff, there's going to be quite a lot, but just to, I wanted to, I don't know if you can see this. It's my tattoo. I really wanted a tattoo my whole life, but I never knew what to get. And a very Victorian mother told me to never get a tattoo. But then, weirdly, 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was, woke up one day and I was like, I need a tattoo. It needs to say love, and I need it on my wrist so I can see it all the time. I had no idea why, none. So this calls to the sort of the listening, the self-listening. And then 5 years later, I had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening, and suddenly everything made sense. So I just wanted to share that and talk to Victoria's love, because it really is, it's everything, isn't it? And it's the essence of us, it's the essence of Zero Limits. And I also wanted to share, because it's a little quirky, I love gardening, and so far I am absolutely hopeless at it, but I love it. Just to give you an example of how hopeless I am, I planted some spring bulbs in September and they already sprouted in October. So that just did not go very well. So just the very human experience of, yeah, that wonderful combination of we are all love and we are so beautifully imperfect as humans.
I love this congruent momentum of love, this theme of love. It's so important, and it's here, right now with all of us. And you would just inspired me right now, because I remembered when I was younger, I grew up in a home it was a really abusive home, and I was always worried about my mother. I wanted her to be happy and feel great and appreciated. So I used to make her these mud pies. And it's funny that you just mentioned this, because I was thinking 2 days ago about how fun it was to make these mud pies, to put your hands and immerse them in the earth and make these mud pies. And I'd pick flowers. My neighbors probably resented me as a child because I would go get their flowers to put it on my mom's mud pies. And then the other thing that I was gonna mention before you said that was I was actually a judo junior Olympian at the age of 12. So I've got moves still a little bit, but it's just a little fun fact. So wanted to pass that along. And that even in childhood, we can have zero limits. And it's amazing how that fuels your momentum, past achievements, fueling your momentum for current life experiences. It's really fun and really empowering when you have down moments, remembering those great experiences in your life and how they contribute to who you are. Okay, Stacy, would love to hear, what do we not know about you?
Well, I think you probably know I'm kind of perverse. I'm just going to say, but you don't know two experiences that formed my perversity. Meaning, if you tell me I can't do something, stand back. When I was 3 years old, I was kicked out of dance class in front of my mother. The teacher said I had no chance. I just did not perform I'm a Little Teacup well enough, and she felt I had no potential. Many years later, in my 50s, I became a dance instructor. I'm just saying, okay, if there's a will, there's a way. I became certified at triple belt in a NIA practice. If anybody knows about NIA, NIA, giving them a shout out around the world. Martial arts, dance arts, and yoga combined. And then when I was in high school, my side job was at a hamburger joint, which had an accompanying ice cream shop right next to each other. Women were never allowed to scoop the ice cream. Ever. Never, ever. It was run by 3 brothers. They felt that women could not scoop big enough. They were known for their big scoops. So I was flipping burgers and fries, but on the side when they would go home, and have one of the guys train me. And you have to know I was 99 pounds and skinny. They trained me, and one day I just walked in with a big scoop, made the scoop, handed it to him. He's like, "Who made this?" I did. No, show me. I showed him. I was the first woman, first girl at the time, but a woman to scoop ice cream, and they put me behind the ice cream counter. Just saying, I broke the ceiling.
That is so awesome. And that does sound so much like you. I love to hear this. And it doesn't surprise me even in childhood. What a victory story, especially with the dance. I love that. That's amazing to be converting these hurtful experiences into something so impactful for others now. So thanks for doing that, Stacy. Okay, Jonathan, what do we not know about you?
Well, similar to you guys, I mean, I'm not a judo champion, but one of the things is I'm a second degree jiu-jitsu black belt and instructor. I had gotten injured a while ago, so I've been waiting to get back. I've been watching Dr. Joe's transformation from him starting to where he is now, seeing what he's doing inspired me to start training again. Dr. Joe, thank you for that. Another thing is I'm a DJ. I've been DJing for close to 25 years now. So I can do any type of party. It's always fun. And it's something that actually puts me in a good state and like a flow state. And it's almost like meditative a little bit, even though the energy is high and going. So those are two things, I guess.
Okay, bring in the party, Jonathan.
Yeah.
My brother and I used to say we'd be great party crashers, just having fun.
Yeah.
That's our magic skill, having fun at parties.
Come to New York.
We'll see you there. Okay, and let's see. Lisa, did I get you? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. I think we got everyone. Dr. Joe, would you please share with us what's something we don't know about you?
Joe?
Oh, wait, before we go there, Lalitha.
I can wait for
Go
Joe.
ahead.
Okay.
No, go
Go,
right
Lalitha,
ahead.
please.
Go right ahead.
I don't know. I'm thinking about something unusual. I've lived in India for 5 years. After leaving corporate jobs, I started to teach yoga, and that wasn't working for me. It was diluted. I didn't like it. So I decided to go straight to the source and went to India and lived there on and off for 5 years. So I meditated up to 12 hours once, which for me was a great feat. And I was born on January 11, so 1/1 at 11:11 a.m. So that's pretty unusual because I thought everybody loves one now, 111, no? So I just thought I'd say that. And also we have an event on 11/11. So I thought, wow, a lifetime of obsession with 11. This works.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. I noticed that too, the 11/11 on our event. That's really cool how that worked out. And by the way, I love that living in India. It reminds me of the secret garden, the story of finding yourself there. So that's
It
beautiful.
was amazing. I traveled from the Himalaya down to the very south.
Oh, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad you jumped in with that. Thank you. All right, Dr. Joe.
Well, my life's been an open book. So, speaking of books, if you read all 90 of them, you probably know all the nooks and crannies of my life. But to just talk about one of them that people may not know, I am a lifetime member of the Society of American Magicians, the group that Harry Houdini founded. And when I was a kid, I thought I would be the next Harry Houdini. And I had the name Harry Excello. And I used to practice getting in and out of escape apparatus. I would have my brothers tie me up and then leave me in the basement so I can squirm my way out. I learned magic tricks, and my very first published writing was for a magic trick I invented about the age of 13 and submitted and had published in a magic magazine. And secretly, sometimes I still fool around with magic.
Whoa, okay, that is new information to me. And it's funny because it's so different. It's not something I expected to hear, but now I'm like, I'm not surprised because
Right.
this is the theme of miracles, the theme of magic and what's possible. Wow. Okay, very cool. Thank you for that share, Dr. Joe. And each of you, thank you for being here. Thank you for your wisdom, your love. And I am so excited for all of us and to see each of you at the event on November 11th and 12th check out the movie in advance and go deep on these lessons with us on November 11th and 12th. It's going to be quite an experience, as I hope you can see from meeting all of these beautiful people here today, led here by Dr. Joe Vitale. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you there. Mwah.
Everybody.
Bye.